Hey, everybody.
What up? You look like you're doing a commercial. You got that head tilt. Are you gonna sell me some shampoo?
I'm going to sell you some sabers. Good evening, everybody. Mezzo is back and back home. Hello, Mixed Oreo. How are you? Say
Mixed
long, no
Oreo.
freaking way. Right at 7 o'clock. I know it's shocking. And Mezzo is back as well on time. Say long. So, yeah, you'll notice you're a bit close up to me. Hi.
Hello there.
So, I accidentally left my tripod at church. So I have no tripod at home, and I literally have my camera on two boxes. One is my wireless lapel mic box, and underneath that is a box that has a toaster in it. Yes, I have a toaster in my office. Don't ask why. Hi, Matt.
What's up, Matt?
This is ridiculously close and weird. I got to keep looking to the side. I'm used to looking like this is where I usually look.
Right.
And I can't look there. I have to look there. Anyway, all right. So I am back. This proves Mezzo is the reason the show is on time. That is so not true.
You know what? There are many Fridays when I show up at 7:55 and nobody else is there.
And there's times where you show up at 8:10.
What's up, John? Speaking of John, I have a special announcement to make.
Ooh, okay. Ooh. I'm excited.
Remember what that exact number was, Steven? 35. Sorry, what? Number 35. It's cool. Don't worry about it.
Timestamps.
It's okay. We, as many people may know, for the last 2 months, we have been doing a fundraiser for our good friend, Mr. Jon, with AbiliTVs. And today, being the last day of the month, now we still have the 20% promotion running for another couple of days until May 3rd. But today was the last day for the 2 months for our collecting for Jon. And we have raised $3,500.
Oh, that's awesome. Yay!
Not quite what he needs for the total wheelchair. However, while all of this was going on, I know Jon was still working with, whatever agencies he could get a hold of, trying to get this thing rectified. And they found a solution for him that may be cheaper. So that money that we raise may go to be able to help to get him like the accessories that he still needs.
That's
to personalize
awesome.
it.
Oh, Jon, that makes me happy.
Yeah, I want to thank everybody out there who made a purchase from Kyber Cave. We donated 20% of every sale towards this. I also want to thank the people who have participated on the GoFundMe. That would be you. Thank you, Mez. There was somebody else on there, and I know I put money in there. I haven't checked it since then. But I would like to thank everybody for helping us to help Jon, and Jon's there in the comments. He's saying he's getting Medicare help.
Yes, great.
We'll have to cover 20%, so this is a huge help. Well, we do hope that it helps in any way it can. We honestly wanted to raise the full amount, but it is what it is. So thank you everybody for that. And still make sure to head over to kybercave.com, 20% off for the next 3 days.
Yes, very exciting. All right, guys. Yes, I am back, if you haven't noticed. I was at my mom's taking care of her after she had surgery, and her recovery went a little longer than expected, so I ended up missing last Sunday too. But I have returned, and I am back, and I am very happy. Someone asked how the escape room was. I went to.
Wait, who
I
asked
booked it, actually. Sewang, you even put it on the screen, you silly Liam. There, how was the escape room, Van?
It was fantastic. We got the highest score in our game of the entire month. Woo!
Yeah, we beat the shortest time by 3 minutes. So we got to go on the leaderboard and make a team name as Kyber Experience. And we had a good time. There was 8 total of us. And that was a lot of fun. We did one that we can't talk about the details of it, but we did one that was Sherlock Holmes themed.
Right.
So that was a lot of fun. But without further ado, sir, do you know what time it's for?
Dun, 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 dun. The nerdy news, except for there won't be a beard this week.
Yeah, correct. The nerdy news today, and no beard. It is back to Mezzo being on the one doing the nerdy news. And first and foremost, Guardians of the Galaxy 3 premiere best moment. So What did we learn about Guardians of the Galaxy 3 during this red carpet premiere? Well, you can check it out in the description below. They have all the things that happened on the red carpet that maybe even hint a little about things in the movie and things that happened with the celebs. And so that I found it kind of interesting, so I decided to include it. Mr. Rio, I tried to come by some Sabers in person a few days ago, but you guys were closed early. Oh, yeah, I can't remember why you guys closed early. I know there was something.
Steven had to get over to his other job on that.
Yes, and so the manager at Kyber Cave is also a bar house manager at a theater in the next town over. So he had to head off to that. Anyway, so check out in the description below an article to this event and all the information you'd like to know about it. Next in the nerdy news, Jedi Survivor is here.
Yes.
Guys, Calcast has joined him 5 years after the first one, right? This is 5 years later on his continued adventure against the Empire. So you know what's really funny is I heard his, like, until I started doing this channel and got more into Star Wars, I'd seen his face but didn't know his character. Now I know a little bit more about him, but I have not played the games before. And so I'm wondering if I should do like a special Let's Play for Patreon or something, playing the games.
Cool. That would be
so
cool.
We might be doing that. Hey, and speaking of Patreon, if you guys don't know, we have a Patreon. You can go to patreon.com/Kyber Cave Productions and support us for as little as $1 a month.
Yeah, I hope you know, because last show we just gave out 5 Sabers to our Patreon subscribers.
Yes, we did.
When you join at different levels, there's different things you can get, all the way from stickers to T-shirts to lightsaber chopsticks. And at the highest tier level, every year before May 4th, we give away 5 lightsabers, and one of them is an exclusive. It'll have an exclusive paint job or exclusive etching or something like that. We gave away a Joker saber this year, an exclusive paint job on the Joker saber. So that was last show.
Well, if you would, so for the Jedi Survivor, Jedi Survivor, yay, Matt! Check out the description below. There's a link to it with information about the game. I have seen it all over, like TikTok and YouTube and Twitch. It's what a lot of people are streaming right now. It's a brand new big game. I like Cal Kestis. I like the character. For those who don't know, he's a survivor of Order 66, which was Order 66. Anakin showed up to the younglings and did a party. Did a lot of his friends to the party with all the younglings, and less people left that building than that were in before. All right, so that was the nerdy news for you guys. After our nerdy news, we have our producer James Kaiser of Flow of the Show, who brings us Flow every week. And this year is a fire dancing group called FloMies. We've actually had them once before, and they're very interesting. So thank you, Mr. Kaiser, for bringing that to us. And without further ado, please enjoy the Flow of the Show.
FloMies.
I love watching the fire dances. They're so much fun to watch.
I always have a sense of like anxiety when I watch them, dude. I know if it was me, I'd be the Human Torch.
You wouldn't be doing it. All right, so thank you, James Kaiser, for bringing that Flow of the Show to us. FloMies is your name, FLO, couple of MIES. So thank you so much for that. And gosh, it's been so long since I've been back. It feels like it's flying. We already have our introduction to our guest. Van, would you like to take it away?
Wow, dude, and we are flying. We're like 4 minutes ahead of like schedule
I
here.
know, it's weird.
Hey, you know what? Well, maybe let's use the time to and remind people we also have a Discord.
Yes, we do.
In fact, I was thinking we should update like our Saber Rattle intro to show the Discord, and also I think you made a TikTok page, so we should like update those.
Yeah, so for those who don't know, if you check out the link tree in the description below, you'll see the link to our Discord. So you can join and chat some of us offline. I am also going to be adding the link to the TikTok this week. I did make a new TikTok page for our show, so just look up Kyber Cave Productions and you'll find us there.
Yes, and I also want to remind people who may be local in the area. May 4th, we are going to be at the Cal Academy of Science in San Francisco during their 21 I don't know what that event is called, but they do like a mixer for adults every Thursday night, and then next week happens to be May 4th, so we will be there vendoring as we do. It's called Nightlife, that's what it is. And then that's May 4th, so that's a Thursday, 5th, 6th. That Saturday, we are going to be at Waterfront Comics in Sassoon for free comic book day. So we'll have a table out there. I'm also going to have a costume contest. So anybody that comes out in a costume will give away one saber to adult and one saber to a child.
Ooh, that's cool.
And all you got to do is just come get your free comics in costume.
Jon AKA says that Dark Saber arrived last night. He's very happy and thanks again.
Woohoo! Oh, I'm so happy you got your Dark Saber.
Yes, and Say Wong says, for all those wondering, there will not be a lightsaber battle in Sacramento on May 4th. That is not happening.
And now that Say Wong's on here, I have an update for you, Say Wong. I was literally just talking to Anthony, who is the host of that event. And we are going to do a joint collaboration with them. So it will be a Sunshine Creations / Kyber Cave event. We're looking at August 4th, which will be the night before kids go back to school. August 4th, so that it'll still be May the Force be with you, I think was his what he said. But it'll be August 4th, and I'm hoping to have some Star Wars celebrities there as well for that event. So we're going to make it kind of like a mini con at night.
Like Mr. Donaldson.
And it will still be a free event.
That's awesome. That is great. We're going to introduce our guests in a moment. And guys, this video is a little bit, their intro and outro is a little bit different than normal because Juan Sith is actually a saber font maker. I just left it as his sounds instead of music because I found them cool. I wanted to leave them on there because that's what, it's not like I'm not going to have someone who comes on and makes sounds and just play music on the video that shows it showcases their sounds. So
right.
Go ahead and do your introduction, Vane.
I want to say I am very excited about this artist. This person is someone that it's kind of funny when you get sabers, like oftentimes you hear these cool fonts, but you never really know the stories of the people that are behind them. Now, tonight's show is a little bit of a special show in that our good friends Force Effects is out here in California visiting us, and he's leaving in a couple of days. And I wanted to have, if you ever watch any of his program, his streaming on Kyber Cave, he often ends, and this is one of the people that he will often mention the name of. This is one of Force's favorite creators. Therefore, he's one of ours. He is also has a lot of sound fonts. You will hear if you buy a saber or get a saber from us, his sound fonts are on TXQ sabers. So
nice.
You've already heard his work. With no further ado, please give it up for Juan Sith.
A Wookiee.
Hello.
Hello. How are you, Juan?
I'm excellent. How about you?
Oh man, I am excited to be talking to you. Your work is absolutely amazing.
Thank you so much.
Now, for people who may not be, familiar with you or even sound fonts in general, can you tell people a little bit about who you are, how long you've been doing what you're doing, and what exactly are sound fonts?
Oh, wow. Well, first of all, let's begin for my name. I'm Juan, codename Juan Sith. I am, first of all, I'm a Star Wars fan and a lightsaber collector since 2009. Uh, I began collecting sabers and getting into the fandom on the famous FX Sabers forum,
Right,
which is what it was way back when. And that's where I got my first saber, and it was a Hasbro FX Saber, a Darth Vader one, which
right,
had terrible sounds, and I wasn't satisfied at all by the sounds of that saber. So after
right.
investigating, I got my first Crystal Focus 3 lightsaber, which was a Graflex, and it was a journey between, like, there were only two font makers. A font is the uh, the uh, the sounds, the sound list that your board, your saber has, where you
Right.
power on your lightsaber. It makes sounds. This little saber doesn't make any sounds. This saber does make sounds. Okay. So yeah, 10 years ago there were only two font makers, uh, and I said, well, what if I want different fonts that aren't available anywhere?
Right.
So one evening I tried by myself to make one font, which was Zelda Ocarina of Time. That was my first font.
Nice.
And after 4 hours of trying and failing, and then like and trying again, I succeeded. And this
Beautiful.
was way back 10 years ago, where making a font was really hard. It was
Right.
harder
Right.
than right now. So yeah, I've been doing this for 10 years. I made my Zelda font, and then I went, okay, what's next? What else can I do? Okay, so I did a Darth Vader Episode 5 font based on the carbon chamber scene from Empire Strikes Back.
Right.
And yeah, and I've been here ever since. I've been around.
Are you using equipment that, say, a music editor would use, like that type of programming, or what kind of programs is it specifically for sound editing, or is it a movie type of editor? Or
Yes, back in 2010, I used Final Cut, which is actually a film editing software, which I had in my computer, and that's
right,
the only thing that I had, and it was a painful process, because I had to convert from MP3 or .wav to RAW, which was the
right,
format that you had to use back then. Right now, it's much more friendly to us filmmakers because all boards use WAV, so you don't have to go through several processes and everything. Right now, I only use Audacity,
right.
and that's it. I mean, my workflow is pretty much done since like 5 years from now. Like, it was just I changed from Final Cut to Audacity, and I never looked back.
Never went back.
No.
Is your background before this? Do you work in sound engineering in your normal life, or what was it that, I mean, was it just the hatred of this one particular, sound font that led you on this journey, or did you have something are you a musician or something in your background that attracts you to sound?
First of all, I wouldn't like I cannot play a single instrument to save my life. But since but I have a pretty good ear since I was a child, and mainly what attracted me about Star Wars was sound. I love the sound effects from Star Wars. I
Right,
like, yeah, you have the special effects, and the art direction, and the
Right.
scenarios. But especially to me, Ben Burtt, what he did changed my life.
Right.
Oh yeah, when I wanted to have my first saber, I imagined that lightsaber would evoke all that experience that I got from the film. And when I turned it on, it was a disaster. So yeah,
Right.
like I said, no, I wanna do I wanna do sound fonts in which I can see the film next to me and hear the same.
The same sound.
Well, I have a film background. I'm a filmmaker. So yeah, like I knew how to use Final Cut, but I
Mhm.
didn't know how to edit or anything. Sound, I have no clue. I still have no clue. It's
Right.
everything. It's try and fail.
Right. And to give people a little bit of context, the board he was talking about, he said when he started, you said it was a CF3, right? We're
Crystal
up to
focus.
CFX, which is a CF10 right now, essentially.
Yeah. Yes.
So the amount of things that you can do and the amount of power and effects that you can do is vastly different. So that comes to my next question. Did you have to learn this board from scratch, learn what it can do and how to use it?
Yes. Especially because I didn't want the board to narrow my creativity.
Right.
I wanted my creativity to modify or to take advantage of what the board could do.
Right.
So it came to a point where even well, to anyone who doesn't know, Irv Plechter, it's the creator of Crystal Focus. It's a
Right.
great guy.
Plector boards.
Yeah,
Right.
and actually, I ended up suggesting some of the things that we actually see in some of the on the next in the evolution of Crystal Focus. Prion, for example,
Right.
my idea.
Oh wow.
Yeah. Um,
Wow, that's kind of cool. Now every saber has pre-on. That's like just a standard thing, but that was an idea that you came up with?
yes.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
and it
so
was
cool.
back when I was trying different things, and for instance, I had pretty ambitious sound fonts like my Empire Strikes Back Legends.
Right.
I wanted to have two hums at once for Vader.
Wow.
So I had to, tweak around how the font uses sound and everything.
Right.
So yeah, I had to learn not coding. I have no clue how the board works,
Right.
but I totally had to figure out how power on goes next to the hum and how it mixes together and everything. That's how I could I like that's how I've been able to um, collaborate with
Right.
the board makers, if that makes any sense.
Right. Now, I have a question, and maybe this is probably better for a little bit later, but it's just something that's on my mind now. But, so we at Kyber Cave, we sell sabers. And when I do my advertising, I never say that I sell a Luke Skywalker saber. I say I sell a Luke Skywalker inspired saber because I'm so worried about the mouse coming after me. As a font maker, do you have to worry about things like copyright laws? Or I mean, because obviously when we turn on some fonts, it's directly taken from a movie. You'll hear lines from different characters. Vader may say a line, and it's obvious that you didn't recreate it. It's obviously directly from the movie. Are there legal things that you have to worry about?
I bet there are. Um, Thankfully, I'm a collaborator
Mhm.
and an affiliate with Saberfont, which the people who manages it, I speak to them all the time, and I always say, hey, I always submit my fonts first, and then I ask, is this okay? Am I gonna get into trouble? And these people who doesn't know it's Vader's Vault, it's the
Mhm.
people who are like the owners of Vader's Vault, and they
Yeah.
know a lot of. They've been to ILM and everything, so they know the path
Right.
that you must go through in order to get out of trouble. I mean, things like music tracks.
Right.
That's a copyright thing all by itself. So a lot of people say, "Hey, how come you don't, include more tracks, more music?" And it's because it's recommended that I shouldn't.
Right.
No,
Right.
but I mean, if I don't say Luke Skywalker, Return of the Jedi font,
Right.
but you say father and son, well, that's
Right.
one way. And also, what they explained to me just a month ago that I saw the owners of Vader's Vault. I keep asking. I get, hey, am I going to get into trouble? And they say, well, no, because you are actually. I mean, I do have to fill the gaps
Right.
because
There's
films
certain sound that the movie doesn't make.
exactly.
Right.
For instance, smooth strings, right? Even hums.
Mm.
I mean, there's so much music and background noise and all these things in which you only get like a hint of what a hum is actually,
Right.
in which I have to actually replicate
Wow.
to as accurate as I can. But again, like I'm working with the sounds, and
Right.
that's transformative. So as long as I
Right.
don't put images or real, like for example, this weekend I released my Jedi Power Battles sound font inspired on the video game. I
Right.
cannot name it Jedi Power Battles, so it's just Power Balls battles. But yeah, so it's like you, yeah, it's the same.
Right. But so it's not a challenge then, even when you're taking direct like lines out of the movie, like if you made a say an Obi-Wan font and you pulled out the line, Anakin, you were my brother, you're not worried about that as much.
What it's been told to me, and that's what I follow, is that
Mm.
as long as you don't, you know, release the entire movie made out of quotes, like
Right.
300 quotes. If it's just like five boot sounds,
Right.
like and by the way, to be honest, most of the customers say, "Hey, sabers do not speak." So how like I don't like quotes that much. So I
Right.
add like three, four, but I don't go crazy with that. So
Right.
yeah.
Right. Now, when you're making your sound fonts, um, are you finding things like out like you watch a movie and then all of a sudden it strikes you, oh wow, that would be really, really good, particularly ones that aren't Star Wars ones. Maybe a Jurassic Park sound font or something like that. Do these things just kind of come to you, or is it kind of the other way around where you go, I really want to make something from Jurassic Park. Let me go in there and find what sounds appeal to me.
Yeah, it's a combination. The process could be that I'm really into a sound font, mainly
Mhm.
because most sound fonts, and I'm talking about 90% of them, I do them for myself.
Mhm.
I don't know. I get like a hero saber, and I want a look Return of the Jedi accurate font. So I
Mhm.
make it for myself, and then I just release it so that everybody can take it, like,
Okay.
experience it and like it. But some like I get a lot of commissions
Mhm.
fonts. People saying, "Hey, I want a Frozen font,"
Oh
something that I would
wow.
have never done in my life. And
Right.
then okay, so I watched the movie. I thoroughly watched the movie. I take notes,
Mhm.
and I really get into like what's the kind of experience, not sounds. What's the experience that I want to portray with a Frozen font or
Wow.
a Patrick Bateman font? Like weird, like or the
Right.
wow font. So a lot of people suggest me themes or ideas or characters, and I say, okay, that's cool. And most
Right.
of those are some of my most popular ones. For instance, the Tron font that I made 3 years ago, it was a commission font.
Right.
And like when you collaborate with a customer, like people really have great creativity. So they say, I want it like this and this and that, and I
Right.
just follow their guidelines, and I get really excited. I've done a lot of fun out of just people's ideas and comments and everything. So yeah, other times, well, mainly I do fonts for Star Wars for myself.
Hmm.
Um, most of the out of Star Wars fonts, it's because people just suggest them.
Oh, okay, okay. I think that's my personal favorite. I like the out of Star Wars ones just because it's not expected by people. When they see a lightsaber, they don't expect to hear Pirates of the Caribbean coming from their saber. Hey, we have a question here from the audience. It says, "How long does it take you to make your fonts?"
It depends. It can like the I have a pretty fast workflow.
Mhm.
I'm gonna give an example, like because I don't like to brag, so that's why I have witnesses for this one. Back in Celebration last year,
Yeah.
I was with Alan, the owner of Vader's Vault, and he said, "Hey, how come you've never done a WoW font with the wow and the Owen Wilson font?"
Right. Somebody actually made a comment about that up here. Go
Yeah,
ahead. I'm
yeah.
gonna find. Oh, here it is. Mike.
And
Mike from Jedi Council of America. Mike Berger.
exactly. And we were at Disney, and I say, "Okay, I'll do it tonight." Oh, really? Yeah, I'm gonna do it tonight. It took me 2 hours to make
Oh,
it.
wow. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Wow. Other projects, for example, I did a Demon Slayer font.
Mm,
That was long. It took me 2 weeks, but because I wasn't really familiarized with the TV series, so I had
right.
to watch the whole TV series, the whole 2 seasons, and that's what made me. But when I go into, I extract the sounds from the clips or whatever, and I go into audition. It takes me a day. Yeah,
Wow.
that's why I like, for instance, when I don't know, Kenobi TV series was on, when the final episode was finished,
Yeah.
I released the Vader font and the Kenobi font and the sister font 2 hours later.
Wow. Wow. You must have been just in the zone.
Yeah, that's also it. I'm when I'm in audition, it's just pretty fast. The
Right.
research and the cleaning sounds, it's the thing that takes longer.
All right, we got another question here. John says, where can I find your fonts?"
You can find all my catalog at saberfont.com under the name Juan Sith. I'm also at Facebook on Facebook as Juan Sith Fonts. I release a font every Saturday.
Every Saturday.
Yes, sir.
Oh my goodness. How many fonts do you have now?
I'm at 177.
Wow. Do you know, are there font makers that have more than you?
Not on CFX. No, like for instance, I've been told that my one of my mentors in FontMaker and a friend of mine
Hmm.
uh, reached 200 fonts, but that was way back 10 years ago, where the fonts were made out of, you know, eight
Four
swings,
simple
eight
sounds.
clashes, and one power on and everything. Right
Right.
now, polyphonic fonts, I'm the font maker which the most ones. 177, and
Wow.
I'm going to reach 200 in 4 months.
That is absolutely amazing. And again, too, if you have a saber if you bought one from Kyber Cave, we are a TXQ distributor, and so it's very likely that you have some of Juan's fonts on there now. Speaking of which, it's just kind of a little breakup and a little bit of fun for the show. Do you happen to have a saber with some of your favorite fonts around? Maybe you can give everybody a demo of some of the stuff that you like.
I mean, this is my personal saber. I play with it like every weekend, which is like, because I do fonts because I love making fonts, but I also work every week. So
Right.
on the weekend, what I do is that I go through all my fonts. So right now, since Fall Jedi Survivor is on,
Right.
I've been playing with Fallen Order fonts, but like
Oh.
But again, it's like I really like the Kenobi fonts. Kenobi font.
what I must.
That is great.
I'm sorry, Anakin, for all of it.
Is it difficult for you when you're listening to these? I mean, you've got so many different characters in the Star Wars universe, and every lightsaber sounds just a little bit different. Is it difficult for you to like distinguish out the different sounds and try to recreate it?
I've been working with Star Wars sounds for 10 years. So even if I need to come up with or remember like if there's a hum in a sequence from a very obscure character in Clone Wars or whatever, and you can only hear a hint of his hum. To be honest, the catalog of Star Wars, the Star Wars catalog hasn't changed that much since like the 70s.
Right.
So the sound designers tend to use the same sounds. Maybe they
Right.
pitch them lower or higher, but I hear a hum and I say, "Oh, that's Maul. That's Darth Maul hum." Maybe pitch down and everything.
Wow.
The advantage of these times and technology has advanced so much that now you have a pretty good isolation filters
Mhm.
in which you can just remove the background noise and music and just extract that small sample. And I mean, if it's too dirty to use, you can just go through your catalog and say, okay, it's this sound. But that's the beauty of it. I actually like when I hear a different blaster. Maybe it's
Mhm.
one blaster that I've heard a million times, but maybe it's pitched up or down and everything.
Right.
And that's what I like to like. The research is where I have the most fun because I say, wait, like for example, I'm doing a font right now,
Right.
and I'm like, is this like you have different colors? So is this swing on this color the same swing as in the other
Wow.
color? And I just go to a very isolate and I say, huh, and I just take it to Audacity and just mix a match and hear them. And I mean, it's just like exploring and experimenting and dissecting the sounds.
Right.
So yeah, that's actually the beauty.
Now, when you're making the sounds, you don't also do the blade effects, right? Is that a whole different person that does that, or
That's an entire different thing.
okay?
No, because first of all, Profi is the leader of blade profiling, like configuring blade profiles and everything on
Right.
Profi. The thing with Profi is that I began at some point 1 year ago. I began adding blade profiles to my fonts, and the geniuses from like the guys who know everything about Profi told me you shouldn't be adding blade profiles to your fonts, and I said, how come? Because with every update
Mm-hmm.
they get corrupted
Mm-hmm.
and they wouldn't work as well. So I just left it. Like there are tons of people who just do incredible things, like for example Fed 263.
Mm-hmm.
And I just, when people ask me, hey, do you have a good blade profile for this font, and I just tell them to go to Fed 263 and get them from there, because yeah, like I barely have time to make fonts, so that's
Right.
a whole different thing.
Right. Right. Earlier, you were talking about like when you submit your fonts to saberfonts.com, you were saying that you ask if there's well, okay, let me back up a little. Have you ever had anything that's been rejected because they were saying, ooh, that's cutting it a little bit close, or that might bother Disney?
Yes, but in terms of naming, not in
Mm.
terms of the font itself,
Mhm.
but naming. For instance, I wanted a font called Count Dooku.
Right.
And they say no,
Right.
you cannot. Or like only if it's Disney. If I make a Dragon Ball font, it's called Dragon Ball.
Oh, wow.
Nobody cares. But yeah, so far.
Yeah, so far, right.
But I have an old wives' tale of a colleague. I don't know who. I cannot say any names, even if I wanted to, because I don't know who made a very nice, a complete Battlefront font.
Wow.
And actually, one of the sound designers from the video game is at some forum, and he saw the font, and he was very angry, and he said, "I'm not going to tell Disney about it, but I want it out of Saber font." And so that's what they said. Um, there are You have to be ready to when if the mouse comes and say, "Hey, I don't like this,"
Right.
you have to remove it and say, "Okay, I'll do." So what I do is, yeah, I try to be very ambiguous. We all do.
Right.
I mean,
right.
all font makers who like the top font makers out there, we are trying to, snake our way in order to not like. But I mean, our contributions are great. I mean, it's not like we are competing with the mouse right now. Like
Right.
there's to like I've said this a lot of times, and I'm saying it like I'm honestly saying it. The moment the mouse releases fonts that when I power on my Saber, I hear exactly the same as what I'm hearing in the movie. That's the moment that I'm not going to make any fonts ever again.
Right.
But I make fonts because the fonts that I do are not available anywhere.
Right.
So
That's
yeah.
fantastic. Mez has a question here. She says, "What's your favorite font that you've made?"
ESB Legends. It has a very special place in my heart. It's a font in which it's a Vader Empire Strikes Back inspired font, but I included the carbon freeze chamber ambience background plus his quotes. If you can tell from my background, that's my favorite scene. I
Right.
think that's the quintessential. That's the reason I wanted to be a filmmaker, if anything, because that scene is the quintessential thing about filmmaking. It's lighting, it's sound, it's
Right.
atmosphere, it's
Right.
tone. So yeah, that's my favorite one.
We have obviously we do the video here, but I have a film background. I used to produce TV shows here in Northern California, and one of the things that I used to tell people is I feel like filmmaking and television, when you're dealing with video of any kind, it's one of the only art forms where you have to be a master of every other art form, right? So every shot you do is like blocking. It's like a painting. Every movement, there's dance incorporated. You have to understand how the music is going to affect your audience. So you have to understand what kind of emotions you're trying to evoke from your audience by the color saturations you're using on your film. So it truly is an amazing art form to me to be a good quality film director, because you really do have to be a master of every other art form.
Yes, and that's why Star Wars is a thing that it's been worked on for years after. People don't understand that, like, it's almost a miracle, a universal miracle, that at the same time, at the same period of not only the history of the planet but the history of the universe, you had at the same time John Williams, George Lucas, Dennis Muren, and Ben Burtt
Right.
working together on a film. It's almost like when they say the same about the Beatles. It's not only that they existed at the same point in time, but they met each other and they made the Beatles. That's the same with Star Wars. I mean, Star Wars wouldn't be the same without Ralph McQuarrie or Ben Burtt or the music of John Williams.
Right.
So
it literally changed the entire industry with the creation of ILM.
Exactly. and the use of the camera, of the motion control cameras, and the rotoscoping,
Right.
and the perfect use of practical effects, and the birth of visual effects with the prequels, even though they don't like them. Films that we have right now, it was because George Lucas pioneered
Right.
computer animator generating images. So
Right.
yeah, like yeah, if you've been a producer, like what's it about, and it's
Right.
exciting. It's
Right.
exciting that we, like you and us fun makers, keep that creation alive every day. I'm pretty excited to have working with like the sounds of Ben Bird that
Right.
he discovered 4 years ago.
Right. Right. Have there been any and we're gonna get ready in here, man, time flies so fast.
Yeah.
We're gonna get ready here and close out our interview in a moment, but I wanted to ask, has there been any font that it's just kind of like it's in your head, it's bugging you, but you haven't been able to quite get it out the way that you want?
Yes. Two. One is Star Wars related, which is, well, there were three, but I achieved one just a month ago, and took me almost 6 years to achieve
Ooh.
it, which is my Graphics Vintage font. I really wanted to portray a pretty accurate Luke Skywalker training in the Millennium Falcon scene.
Wow.
Uh, the hum is pretty different, and every time that I saw that scene, I said, "There's something about that hum," and I couldn't extract it and isolate it
Mm,
because it's so subtle that the ambient sounds from the Falcon
mhm.
would be on
Wash
top.
it out. Yeah.
Yeah, but I achieved it finally.
Wow.
Thanks so much. Uh, a week ago, I revised. I was playing around with my Evil Ray, two double bladed saber
Mhm.
from Rise of Skywalker, and the swings. I want to redo them because they are not right, and it's been a splinter in my mind. That's one, and another one which is fun of mine. Uh, which it's part of a series that I'm doing,
Mhm.
which is Force Sins, and I've made fear, anger,
Oh.
but I'm missing aggression, and I've done like 5 versions of aggression, and I'm
Uh-huh.
still not like, I haven't nailed it.
Right. R- Right. Wow. That's incredible to think that even with as much experience that you have, that there's still problems that you come across.
Yeah, because films weren't like films now, like you have pretty much a stereo. Sometimes you have a source in stereo in which you have a lot of music and everything, or the
Right.
clip, like for example Ray, that scene from Ray Skywalker when she sees her evil Ray version.
Right.
It's just like a 30-second clip. You have like three swings.
Right.
So yeah, it's extremely hard. So but no, I know I'm going to achieve it. I'm positive.
So you have to kind of imagine based on just those couple little sounds what the other sounds would sound like.
That's what I did on the font that I released, and I
Hmm.
didn't like it. It's too generic. And then I
Hmm.
watched it again with my daughter, and actually, she said it. Like, she also had a pretty good ear, and she's 5, so she's
Hmm.
very fresh. And she
Hmm.
said, "Hey, I have this font," and I like turned it on, and she said, "That doesn't sound like her."
Right.
And I like, "What do you mean?" Like, yeah, it doesn't sound. And I like, let me replay it. And
Hmm.
I spent half hour. She left, and I was still replaying that scene and saying, she's totally right. Yeah, this is wrong. That my take, how I imagined it, it's wrong. It's
Right.
more aggressive. It's like a growl. So yeah, I'm
Right.
going to redo it again.
So, okay, the next question I have, and I'm going to end it here. John says, "Can you teach me the ways of the fonts?" um, that totally knocked me out. I totally forgot what I was going to ask now. Oh my
Well,
gosh.
just
Yeah.
an example. Like, nobody. that's a lot of people every day come and tell me, hey, I want to start making fonts, can you help me? Every day, every new font that I make is a
Mhm.
discovery. I don't know how to make fonts. It's just the passion. If you want
Wow.
to do a font, you wouldn't be asking. You just go and do it.
Wow.
Audition is free. That's the only thing that I can say. Audition is free. Just download. Not Audition. Audacity. Audacity.
Audacity, yeah.
Adobe Audition. No, no, no. Stay away from Adobe Audition. No subscriptions. No, no, no. Audacity. Download it and just uh, you have all the sources available now. You can just Google it, Star Wars sounds, or on YouTube you put, hey, a scene, Count Dooku versus Amidala, I don't know, and
Right.
you're gonna get it, and
Right.
then you'll figure it out.
Right. Excellent. Excellent. I love it. I remembered my two questions. All right. So
Yes.
these kind of go together, but it's a two-part question. Um, do you listen to other font makers to hear what other people are doing? And then when you do so, like for example, you were talking about Vader in Empire Strikes Back. You were talking about specifically, the carbon freezing room there. Is it difficult to visit a character like Vader or Luke and try to find something fresh that hasn't been done a million times before, either by your own self or by another font maker?
Okay, first I'm going to answer that question. What's your strangest font? I think it's going to be Kendall Roy from Succession, a
Oh,
commission
wow.
font,
Okay.
and I did
Nice.
it. And I love it because it took me to Succession, which now I love. So yeah, that's what font making also makes you like. It takes you to other places where you never expected. And
Right.
okay, to one, no, I don't even. It's gonna sound horrible, but I really not pretty very familiarized with other font makers.
Mhm.
Some people come and say, hey, do you know this font maker? And I say, sorry, I honestly don't know them
Right, right.
because I'm a filmmaker and I'm a writer. I'm a writer, screenwriter, and I barely have time. So also, I wouldn't actually hear any other people's work because like that's in general. That's also like in like my philosophy is that fun making is my path. So why would I want to hear what other people are doing?
Right.
That would break it for me
Right.
because I'm making it because I love it and I want to make it my own instead of maybe I don't know. Maybe I'm terrified of copying what other people are doing.
Right.
So if I fail, I want to fail because it was my intention and not because I was copying someone else. So no, honestly I don't even know their names. I know Force
Right.
because he's a really good friend, and Nova Star because I began with Nova Star like 10 years ago, and Mad
Right.
Cow. But there's so many fun makers now. Shamim because I met him at 2019 celebration and I
Mhm.
took a photo with him, and that's it. And your other question is, I'm all about accuracy. So what excites me in this path of discovering fonts
Mhm.
is that, for instance, carbon scene sequence. After they fight in the carbon sequence, they go down an elevator, and Darth Vader starts hitting him with boxes, and the
Right. Right.
window breaks. In my journey, I discovered that isolating sounds is now possible. So now there's a pretty intense music in that scene. If you remember correctly, Darth Vader comes,
Mhm.
tan 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 tan, and the first box, and then they start clashing.
Right.
Before I couldn't use those clashes because they were behind this dramatic music, but now
Right.
3 months ago, I was able to actually remove the music from that scene and have those sounds isolated, and that's pretty exciting to me. It's like I'm a step further from achieving my goal, which is totally accuracy. I want to make extremely accurate. I want to be extremely accurate. The hum that I told you about, graphics 4, the train remote scene. That
Yeah.
font, I bet it's been like there's like 1,000 fonts from A New Hope, Luke Skywalker. But
Right.
mine, to me, it's special because it's almost like I'm preserving the actual sounds. It's like
Right.
history. Or for instance, on Return of the Jedi, the cave scene sound,
Yeah.
the infamous cave scene in which you hear a really weird hum from Luke Skywalker.
Right.
No, like I couldn't achieve it until like 5 months ago, in which I could isolate the power on and the hum and the power off without R2 sound, because R2 whistles exactly on the power off.
Oh.
Yeah, and that like I had that thing suspended for 3 months, and I achieved it thanks to new technology
Right.
5 months ago. So that's fresh for me.
Wow, that is absolutely amazing. Juan Sith, I want to thank you for your time. Your work is absolutely incredible. Hey, you know what? I want to leave you with one more question, because this is one that's a little bit, I guess, controversial in the Saber industry. How do you feel about resale of sabers? There's a lot of font makers, a lot of people who will say that if I buy a saber and then I buy, say, 10 fonts from you, if I resell that saber, I should wipe that saber clean of the fonts that I bought. What are your feelings?
I mean, my 10-year experience with customers and with affiliates and with like companies who sell sabers, name it. I'm gonna give an example. THQ. Everyone could actually, in theory, could steal our work. But the incredible thing is, nobody does. At least that I know. I'm sure that they're like I've read sabers, and I've seen posts on Facebook about, hey, I'm selling my saber and I include like 20 fonts, and I don't even really. I say, okay, well, do I care?
Right.
Not to the extent of, like, actually, I haven't lost income because of those sales.
Right.
And people actually come and say, hey, I'm going to sell my saber. Is it okay? And I say, well, no, don't do it. If they ask me, I always say, don't do it. Not especially because of me, but because I'm part of a fun making society.
Right.
And I need to defend the rights as well, not only mine. If I say, I don't care, if they steal funds, I don't care. No, that's not good, because it's a lot of time. So if you ask me, I would say don't do it. $12, $10 for a font is not that much. But in my experience, people understand it and don't do it as much. Especially if, like, TX Sabers. A lot of people say, and this, before we finished, people say, hey, I'm sure a lot of China sellers steal fonts.
Oh, yeah. Wow.
THQ came to me and said, hey, I want to, make a deal with you, because I want to include your fonts on our sabers.
Wow.
And we put a price, and we signed the contract, and there you go.
Wow, that's incredible.
Also, like, most of the the companies that sell sabers in the United States do the same.
Right.
And it's a society in which we have to defend ourselves and protect ourselves. So yeah, you never know if you're going to want to be a fun maker in a year or so, and you're going to want to earn some profit from it,
from the work that you did.
Of course. So let's defend that, and
Right.
let's not steal or steal other font makers or my fonts or anything. And yeah, let's keep it nice.
I appreciate you answering that because, like I said, that's been one of those kind of controversial questions out there in Saberland, and it's nice to hear directly from a font creator their thoughts on that. So thank you very much. Juan Sith, I want to thank you for an amazing interview. I feel like I have learned so much, not just about you, but about fonts in general. This has been an absolutely fun interview, and thank you for hanging out with us.
Hey, thank you so much. It's been a pleasure. I love Kyber Cave.
We love you.
And I mean, you sell sabers, THQ. Like I love THQ sabers. I love all sabers. So yeah, let's buy and sell sabers and everything. But let's keep it nice and clean. And yeah, let's not steal things from anyone.
Right. Let's keep it a fun community.
Exactly.
All right, my friend. You have a beautiful night.
You too.
All right, take care. Mezzo.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
Soundbank selection.
The Jedi must be purged.
Master Skywalker, there are too many of them. What are we going to do?
That one, when I first watched that one, it just made me laugh so much. I had to use it. Oh, it's a little cockeyed. Hang on a second.
I have that font on one of my sabers as well. That font, when you light that up, it definitely elicits response from people.
Yes, it does. Okay, whatever. Oh my gosh.
Juan Sith, that was so cool.
Thank you so much, Juan Sith.
Like I said, he is we sell TXQ sabers, and he is the exclusive font maker on there. So it's so cool to know that we are carrying around his work every time we step out of the store.
Okay.
Wow, it's so nice to see the front of your face this time.
So I saw my Christmas lights back there. I was like, oh, I'm gonna go light this up, and I'm gonna go light those up. And guess what I found in between the wall and the crack between my tripod. So I actually had it all along. I didn't have to use 2 wireless mic boxes and a toaster box. I'm glad to be looking up though, because that's what I'm used to.
Right.
Having you look at me from right here was not comfortable. It was literally right here. It was so uncomfortable.
Before we get to the next segment, Steve,
yes, we do.
Wanted me to show off these. These don't show very well on the screen, Steve. We're going to be closed tomorrow. Because we will be at Solano College for an event there. So if you want to find us tomorrow, come out to Solano College. And this is for the May 4th Feel the Force event. We will be, so that's Thursday night. We will not be open Thursday night because we will be in San Francisco.
Yes, and you are correct, Cody. I've been away for a few weeks. Oh my goodness. Feels like way too long. All right. Yes, I am back. Thank goodness. I missed y'all. All right. So thank you so much, Juan Sith. I really, really enjoyed that interview. I liked, I was listening to it while trying to put my tripod together, and I'm like, it was just silly, all silliness on this side. All right. So moving on, guys, we have, Kevin Hogan, which we just saw last night.
We just
hung out. I'm so excited to actually see him. He joined us for our escape room last night. He goes to conventions every week and gives us a report on pictures and video of how the conventions were and future ones coming up. So without further ado, here is Mr. Kevin Hogan. Thank you.
Hello, this is Kevin Hogan from Northern California with an episode of California Comic-Con Adventures. On the weekend of April 21st to the 24th, 2023 was Costume Con number 39, Things That Go Bump in the Night, at the Doubletree Hotel in San Jose. Some of you remember this is the same hotel that hosts PawCon for the furries every year there, among other events there. Costume Con is a costume theme event there that celebrates all things costume related there. This is one of the more pricey events there. It's like kind of over $60 a day, about over $150 for the whole weekend there. But you do get to meet celebrities there, like they were doing autographs with Adam Savage from Mythbusters there. They had free snacks for staff and attendees in one of the rooms there. And they had people with lots of very interesting and very detailed costumes they made themselves there. We got to see some furries walking around like giant bats there, and birds there is very detailed there. We got to see a Gandalf and his dwarven companions there from Lord of the Rings there. We got to see a Star Wars X-Wing pilot running around there with the whole X-Wing wrapped around him there. So it's very creative. We even saw some Egyptian gods walking around there like Anubis and stuff there. So it's very creative there. Getting to see these characters walk around the hotel. On April the 22nd, 2023 was VacaCon up in Vacaville, Northern California there. We got to see some incredible cosplays there. We even saw a giant R2-D2 walking around there and some other magnificent cosplays there, like the Rhino from Spider-Man, Tony Stark's Iron Man, Ratatouille, lots of Star Wars and Team Fortress cosplays and many others there, like Adventure Time and tons more there. It was the biggest VacaCon ever there. They got lots of fun panels there, like how to build your YouTube fan base there with tips and tricks on that there. They had a big cosplay contest there on the big stage there at the Vacaville Library and Theater Art Gallery there. So it was really fun there. There's a free parking there, so when a VacaCon happens every year, it's a great thing to get to come out and see there. It's really convenient there. It's a fairly economical con there, usually pricing around $20 admission there. It's very close to the freeway there, and they do sell lots of souvenirs in their vendor hall right there. So it's a really great time. Get to see lots of local friends there, hang out, meet people there, see all the different cool cosplays going on there, and get to see things there. In past years, they had a big cosplay parade walk around the area there. They didn't do that this time there, but it was still really fun getting to see all the cosplayers there on the stage there, get to show off all their very creative cosplays that they got to make there. So that was fun. Plus getting to see all the vendors showing off their very creative art displays there, and getting to see all that fun stuff going on there. And plus we got to see all the neat little video games that they let people play while they're hanging out there, getting to be friends there, especially Mario Kart there. With the latest Super Mario movie coming out there. So that was fun, getting to take a break there and just hang out in the shade there, getting to play video games with their friends there. So that was a nice little break for something there. Not a lot of Comic-Con have somewhere to actually sit down there. So that was a fun little break for some chance there to do something fun there. Plus they had some food trucks out front there, which is a great plus there. Not every Comic-Con has somewhere to actually get something to eat there, so that was a big plus there too. So that was a great plus for that there on there too. So definitely recommend checking out VacaCon every year when it comes to a place near you there. Definitely want to get there early though, so I actually got to see the parking lot filled up this time though. So I had to walk across the street there because the parking lot was so full there. So that was a different thing this time that happened there. But it was really cool getting to see all the different creative costumes that happened there. Get all the different anime characters, the furries walking around there, Adventure Time, so many creative characters. It was a real awesome sight to see all these different fandoms coming together there. And for those of you looking forward to future events, definitely looking forward to Thursday, May the 4th. May the 4th be with you, of course, there. It's going to be Sacramento's Saber Rattle 2023 in Fremont Park up in Sacramento there. That's a free party there in the city park there where everyone with lightsabers likes to get together. Usually they have a big party there with some vendors selling stuff there, and everyone with lightsabers likes to get together and have a free battle there. Just kind of whack each other with lightsabers there. That's going to be from 2 o'clock to 9 o'clock in the evening on Thursday, May the 4th there. And also on Sunday, May the 7th from 11 to 5 is Lodi Comic-Con over in Lodi. So definitely want to check out those cool costumes over there at Lodi Comic-Con. And also on May 13th from 11 to 4 is going to be Ohana Comic-Con visiting Manteca in Central California. So definitely want to check out Ohana Comic-Con there. And also, for those of you down in Southern California there, on May 20th through the 21st is going to be Comic-Con Revolution there in Ontario, California there. So looking forward to seeing that there. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you enjoyed the picks, and we'll see you out there at the next Comic-Con.
Thank you, Mr. Hogan.
Woo, and
It was really nice seeing you last night, too.
I saw in one of the pictures our boy, the boy wonder from Hearts of Kyber. He is our interpreter for the deaf. Robin.
Yes.
And he was dressed as Robin.
Yes. So thank you for doing our sign for the show. I don't know how to do show in sign language.
Yeah. So there's lots of talk about the May 4th event. There's so much talk because that event has been running in that park for so long. Like, I want to say like 10 years. That this is the first year that it's not there, and it's because there's a yoga class that's going to be going on in the park that night. Yeah, it was bad planning. Say Wong says Midtown Sac did them dirty. I know that going forward, they are breaking. Sunshine Creations is not going to be associated with Midtown Sac for their events.
Gotcha.
For a part of
that's
it.
That's disappointing, and that's what ended up happening. Yeah, I know mixed. I was like, yoga, okay. I mean,
yeah, exactly.
Nothing against yoga. It's more like this huge event that happens once a year versus this thing that
on a very specific day.
yeah. Versus this thing that probably happens more than once a week. You know.
Right. But you know, the good news about it is it gives us a little more time to plan. And now Kyber Cave is partnered with Sunshine Creations instead of Midtown Sac. And you know how Kyber Cave do. We party.
We do. We party.
That's how Kyber Cave. Ooh.
Yes. Anyway, so thank you, Mr. Hogan, for that report. Guys, tune in this Wednesday. I will be back for Kyber Cave Gaming, and I will be giving away a copy of the Paynes Creek Killings.
Yeah.
For those who don't remember, we had EQ Studios game director Ferry Tomei on our show, showing their second game for the studio called Scene Investigators. And their first game, the Paynes Creek Killings, Aubrey and I played on the channel. And if you would like to play it yourself, or if you didn't get a chance to and you would just like to play it fresh, new for yourself, tune in Wednesday morning. I will be giving away a copy of the Paynes Creek Killings.
Nice.
On Steam. That's where it's at.
And don't forget, we have brand new programming 7 days a week on this channel. Every day, like I said, I do 3 shows, but we have gaming shows, we have health and education shows, we have talk shows, we have interview shows. So there is always something happening, always a new reason. Please share this. Let your friends know about it. We are 55 people away from giving away our next Saber. So every 100 subscribers we get, we give away a Saber. Last week, we just gave away 8 Sabers for the Patreon. And
still blows my mind. I was watching, and I was like, no, stop.
And then like a couple of weeks before that, we gave away a Dark Saber trophy for hitting 1,000 subscribers. So
yes, that was really exciting. Mike White won that, I think.
Yeah.
And also, guys, KCP merch is in the brewing pot. Woo! So we are working on getting designs finalized and a vendor figured out. And if we get big enough, we'll be able to qualify for a different partnership where like they show beneath your videos and stuff like that, which is cool, but you have to have 10,000 subscribers.
We will get there.
So we will get there. But we don't qualify for that as of yet. But for now, we're brewing in the pot, you know, some of the designs and finalizing a vendor and such like that. All right, guys, thank you so much for tuning in to Saber Rattle. Don't forget to show up for our other shows. We got Monday night Retro Alcove. Tuesdays right now at 5 p.m. is Hearts of Kyber. Wednesday mornings at 10 a.m. is Gaming with Metzo and Aubrey this Wednesday. And we're going to be doing the Room 2. Thursday night, 8:15 p.m. is another gaming stream. Usually it's with Force and Graveyard. I'm not sure if Force is back then yet. I don't know. My brain's blanking. My brain was blanking on the day of the week. And then Friday night at 8 p.m. Pacific is our After Dark, which is recommended 18 plus because we do allow the language that we don't allow on the show. We allow it on that show, and also some of the topics can be a little touchy for anyone under the age of 18. Saturday morning, we have our newest show that is showing right now at 10 a.m. Pacific. Saturday morning Nerd Out. We'll be doing reviews, news, headlines, all that kind of good stuff, and a horror corner as well. We also have another show that's in the pre-production stages, so keep an eye out for that announcement. And that is all I have to say.
And that was a lot. Don't forget our Patreon, our Discord, Facebook, Instagram, TikTok. We're exhausted.
Yes, and in the link tree in the description below, I have now added the TikTok account, so you can actually go look at that link and check out the TikTok for that. Yeah, Bat Mike is like, hell yeah, say one. There's more than one Mario RPG. Oh my gosh. And Exit stays left. All right. Thank you guys so much, and have a wonderful week. We will catch you later.
I'm off to Jedi. Peace.